Other than that, my turn.
Yep. Okay. We'll do maybe one or two more. Okay, what's that? Look, come on. But Glenda, listen.
What's somebody's car?
I got kicked out of my house, so it's whatever.
Friends.
Right.
Okay. What?
Should I do this? Yeah. No, I'm just telling you to read the part because I added the what and I was like, no, that isn't.
Where is your dream vacation?
Dream vacay.
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
No, I found these like bungalow. Is that the word I'm looking for? They're like the houses that are on
the water?
On the water, and
Yeah.
it's like surrounded, like literally, it's just water.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's in Kingston, Jamaica. I mean, I don't really care.
Are there other ones like lined up?
Yeah, kind of. It's like in a park. I don't know. I saw it one time, and I just been fixated on that ever since.
Just find you a Jamaican man.
You know, I
Come back with some braids.
don't know. I went there
Beads
with
in
some braids.
the beads at the bottom. You know they always do it like this way.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Jamaican braids.
No.
Mine is Puerto Rico. Or no, Italy first probably. Then Puerto Rico. I really want to. Can't really go now.
No.
I
Soon.
Soon.
I might buy some tickets right now because it's cheap. I would love
Yeah,
to go
so-
and experience that.
But yeah, now being in Florida, we can do that.
We can do whatever we want. Is it your turn?
Yep. Hold it so I can grab.
I might come on.
Let me get a juicy one.
Alright. I'm gonna end up opening.
Ended on a good one. This is seven. So we gotta elaborate a little bit.
Can I see?
This is the last question,
Alright.
or last topic. Pros and cons of
Why do you keep acting like you don't want me to say it?
I know.
Oh, I'm gonna see it here in a second.
Let me read it.
I got it.
Pros and cons of growing up with divorced parents.
Girl, how long you got? No.
Therapy.
You go first.
Okay. Pro. Okay, so I gotta find something positive about growing up without both of my parents. My parents living together. My parents separated when I was in kindergarten, I believe. Or I was out of kindergarten, maybe going in first grade. I don't remember. I remember where we lived, and we had just moved, I think, to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But so the pro. I would say getting to know and be around, I guess, my mom's side of the family a lot. We went back and forth between Sioux Falls and Lake Andes is like 2 hours from Sioux Falls. So, moved to Sioux Falls. This is what I remember. We moved to Sioux Falls. My mom and dad split. We moved back to Lake Andes. And then Sioux Falls, back to Lake. Like, we kind of would bounce back and forth for a little bit. And then we stayed in Sioux Falls. But with my mom just raising myself and my two brothers, you know, relied on family a lot. So we were around my mom's side of the family a lot. And my
Do you
Native
think that
American
it would have
side.
been not that way if they would have been stayed together?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but just like off the top of my head, that's
It's hard to take a
positive.
pro out of something like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you were that young.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's weird though, because I do remember the day they told us. I think they.
What, you were like 5 or 6?
Yeah, like I don't necessarily remember what they said. I just remember where we lived, and I felt like they sat us down and said something, and then after that it was
Just remember
different.
that feeling
Yeah,
more so.
that something's changing, and now it's different.
Yeah.
And then now I'm going over to this house, and then there's another lady. My dad.
It's another lady. Who is this lady?
Okay, and then now I'm going here every weekend or whatever, and it was just different. But at the time, I didn't really necessarily was like, oh, my parents were divorced, you know. I didn't know. And then there was a moment where it stopped, and I stopped seeing my dad, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't necessarily ask a lot of questions as a kid.
Right.
I was just kind of like, alright, this is what happens. Which is kind of biting me in the butt now, but so I guess that would be the pro.
Now I want to know.
Now I'm like, huh, remember that one time?
So do you remember when I was 5? I remember that.
How come? You didn't tell me.
So the pro is
Like,
you were more connected with your mom's side of the family.
yeah, maybe my mom and I, yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I think of
It's positive.
that's positive.
Yeah.
Is that connection, that bond with my mom was stronger.
Yeah.
And with that, my mom's side of the family, my Native American, who knows, I don't know. Well, I guess I kind of do, because my mom was pretty big into like the traditional stuff, but just spending a lot more time with them. Okay, what's your pro?
Would you like that?
Yeah.
I was, I think, 13 when my parents split. I remember, like you said, I don't remember how they said it, but I remember that feeling. I remember knowing, especially being 13 years old. Now my sister, on the other hand, was 5 or 6, maybe younger. So I know that, for her that was definitely different. So I'm like, God, that young, you remember that.
Right.
But I definitely remember, I don't think they set us down.
Right.
I don't think that was it. I think that it was just more of, because my parents were toxic for each other, still to this day. So my pro would definitely be not having my sister grow up in that toxic environment.
Yeah.
Because her life is so much better now. Not to say, whatever, she has her feelings about it, obviously, but
Right.
pro is definitely that both of my parents are happier without each other. It was toxic, it was, toxic,
Yeah.
so that was definitely probably the only pro I could see is that, now that I'm an adult, I can look back and go, okay, in the moment that sucks,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine if they would have stayed together because it's like,
Yeah.
I'm already messed up. Yeah.
Who knows what else?
I would have been no. They would have stayed together.
More
That
messed
would have been even worse.
You've done enough. Thank you.
Yeah. So they definitely were toxic for each other, and it wasn't meant to be. And I'm glad that my sister didn't have to endure that craziness for
Yeah.
like
Like you said, who knows? She has her own.
she
stuff
does. She
now,
has her
but-
own stuff and her own reasons and her own reasons for being everybody's messed up, but
Yeah.
I'm the pro definitely is that they didn't need to be together in the first place. I'm glad that they were because we're here, but I'm glad that they realized
Or not.
and I'm just glad that they realized that this isn't. I feel like they stayed together for a really long time for the sake of their children, and you have to get to a point where you realize, okay, is this really beneficial?
Right.
Or is it not? Because
Right.
in my situation, it was not beneficial to watch my parents fight and go at each other you know what I mean? So my
Yeah.
sister didn't have to, she still saw them fight and stuff, but it wasn't in her home.
Yeah.
So, they needed to realize it was supposed to be. Y'all should know. I never know that.
Okay, and then the cons.
Oh, right. I'm like, how much time can that really have?
Let's just do one.
Yeah. One card.
Okay, the cons.
The card.
So I think because mine happened so young,
Yeah.
it was kind of all I knew, them not being together.
Right.
And there was a point, like I said, where we visited and we did the whole weekend thing or whatever it was, and I just remember that stopped, and then I didn't see my dad. I knew I had a dad. I knew he lived in the same city as I did.
Right.
Like, I knew he knew about it. Like, I knew everything, but for some reason, I never really asked to be like, I want to go see my dad. I was never like, I miss my dad, I'm going to go see my dad. But I think it was, I think it was subconsciously, like back here, like, I wonder why. But again, I never was the kid that asked questions or
Right.
like tested anything. And
Much
we're like, this is what we do, and we just keep pushing. And then we just keep going. Like, you just move on. And it wasn't until I graduated high school, and then he reached out and wanted to talk and stuff. And my mom had told me, she's like, something about your dad said something, I guess, when you get 18, then you guys can talk, or whatever.
Yeah.
Something, like, she knew that at a certain point, he's gonna reach out to you, and you guys can talk and
Right.
get all this stuff up.
Right.
But he did, and I remember, like, getting a call, like,
My mom was right.
and she was like, but one thing my mom, she never really said anything negative to me about my dad. Like, your dad's,
Yeah.
you know, never,
She lets you sort that out.
yeah, never, like, his character or anything to me. I don't know anybody else.
She probably was talking this to everybody else, but
To me,
That's
she was
so
never
nice.
like, your dad's this,
Yeah.
She never said anything like that. I mean, she told me about their story, but as far as like, that was their stuff.
right.
She never said, like, he doesn't love me or nothing. So, but she did say, like, he mentioned, she knew that when I turned 18, he was going to reach out and we were going to have to talk and all this
Yeah.
stuff. But she did, and we talked, and yeah, so we're good now. I asked some questions, but I was never really angry with him. I don't know. I was never really angry with
She
him.
didn't ask questions. You didn't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one con about all of that is, now knowing, is that I never felt good enough. Because it was never like, well, I'm doing all this stuff. You know, I was in activities and
Right.
stuff like that. Like,
Why didn't you want to be here?
why don't you want to be here?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's tried or anything. I just know that he wasn't there.
Right.
My mom was always there.
Right.
Like, do you not care?
Right.
So that never good enough feeling and being abandoned. Learned that in therapy.
Yeah.
That I was abandoned. I felt abandoned.
No, I didn't know it until somebody else told me.
Because I
Which
was,
makes sense though. Like,
because I never thought of it again, because I think there was no negative feelings. Like, I
Right.
never really had any, I hate my dad, who's never around. I never had any of that. So I'm like, you know, he just wasn't there. I remember talking to the therapist and telling her stuff, and she's like, oh, so you've been abandoned. And I'm like,
excuse me, what?
not me. Like,
Who are you talking to?
I'm fine. I'm totally okay.
Who are you? Have you been abandoned?
You don't know my life. Yeah, I do. You just told me.
You just told me everything.
So having that abandonment issues, daddy issues, and like all that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I was abandoned. I think you're onto something, lady. I see why you do what you do.
So you get paid for this.
Good. You should. So having to sort through that, and then like in relationships and stuff, so having those abandonment issues, because my dad wasn't there, and I felt back here
Yeah.
that dang, he never even like tried to, or even fought to come.
Right.
Because I think he had said, like, him and my mom just, they didn't get along. Like, my mom was, and they just not get along for a while. So I think for him it was more like, you know what, okay,
Yeah.
let me just wait.
Right.
But for me, I'm like, why aren't you fighting? Come,
Right.
but that's my daughter, I'm gonna go see her.
Right.
Where's she gonna be at? Like, bro. So feeling like I didn't have that, that's one thing that I've had to work through and still working on.
Not knowing what you missed.
Not knowing what I missed, you know, that feeling of, am I not good enough? Why didn't you fight harder? And all that. But who knows? If he was in my, you know, if my dad was in my life full time, what?
Was your bond with Bennett strong with your mother?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because that's one thing, my mom, she was a little hurt when I started talking to my dad and like building and stuff. Because I was talking to him and, you know, we're alike and blah, blah.
So it was
No,
almost
like
like
that.
Yeah, but it was also like maybe like a jab to her. Just
A little
like,
bit, 'cause
I've
it's
been
like-
here.
Yeah, because I've been here this whole time and now
Yeah.
y'all close. But I would I told her, I'm like, we're close because this is new, but it's never gonna be
Ever.
what you and I had. I can't just, maybe now, I don't know, but I wouldn't think to just call up my dad and be like, what you doing? And let's just talk about, I mean, we do that now, but it's not as frequent like it was with my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your con?
Trauma. No. I just had a really good one and I lost it.
Oh
Darn it.
Got it. She got it. It's back.
My parents, like I said, toxic.
Say something.
So. So their marriage was not only toxic, their divorce was 10,000 times more toxic. Being 13, I decided to live with my dad instead of my mom. And I was stuck in the middle. I mean, it was just the fighting and the just verbal just craziness for so long. I was always in the middle, and then it was like there was no stability. And I feel like as an adult now, I crave stability, but then it's like at the same time, I pick up and move whenever I feel like something's going wrong, or I'll just go. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go because my dad did that, you know. And I understand why he picked up and left because of the craziness and all of that. But I got that. I just want to leave. I just want to go. I just want to this. But at the same time, I crave that stability. So it's like I'm looking for stability in a relationship with a man that's toxic. Oh, so my parents did this. That's got to be the way the abuse and the, you know, I'm not to say my dad ever put his hands on my mom, which I don't think that he ever did, but I dealt with abusive relationships, and I think that it was because I watched them do nothing but fight with each other. So I thought, oh, that passion? That's passion. That's passion. That's love. That's when somebody throws something at you and hurts you, that means they just love you. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that. So I felt like my line of a healthy relationship was blurred just because at that age, I was at an age where I'm watching everything and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what is good and this is this, and I didn't have a really good relationship with my mom either. So being 13, 14, 15, 16, I lived with my dad, and it's like, how do you live with your dad in a situation where you're going through puberty and you're going through this? And I understand. I had my mom, but because I was such a daddy's girl, I sabotaged that relationship between my mom because,
I'm on this side.
Excuse me, this is where, so, it's hard to put it in one con, but it was basically, you know, the trauma. The trauma. I'm glad that they weren't together. Now that I'm older, back then it was horrible because, you know, I got a new stepdad and I looked at him like, oh, you're not my dad. But I didn't want my dad to be with my mom anyway, so it's like, what?
But at that time, it's like,
you're not my dad. You're not my dad. Like, that's how I felt. But at the same time, it caused a conflict between me and my mom's relationship, and then there was no stability, I felt. Once I moved in with my dad, we bounced everywhere because my dad always moved. I was in this city, and this city, and this city, and this city, and there were girls, and there was you know what I mean?
Isn't it funny though, like when you stop and look back at all of it, because you said it was like so many years.
3 years I was with him.
But like those 3 years seemed like that was forever.
So long.
It was like,
so long.
Girl, that was 3 years.
It was really.
Because I remember thinking about that, like my mom, and I'm like, it was just like those, like so many years, so much happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, my God.
Well, and especially when I was that age that I was, everything, the end of the world was happening. Like, it was just the end of the world. My parents are splitting up, and they just don't love each other, and they're crazy, so they shouldn't be together. But back then, it was like, it's just hard because we all blame our parents. My parents blame their parents for why they're messed up.
And there has to be a point like, okay.
I'm like, okay, grandma, who you blame? You blame your mama? When did you break the cycle of let's not
and just
blame.
like, okay, that stuff happened.
Yeah.
But like holding that anger is the one thing that I've learned a lot. It's like, don't hold on to it.
It
happened, try to mend it, talk about it, or whatever you need to do. If it comes back up, you know, keep talking about it, keep working through it, but you have to let it go.
Right.
You have to really like,
And people have such a hard time with that.
yeah.
Because it's easier to blame somebody else why you think that you have these issues instead of just facing them. Go, okay, I don't need to have those issues anymore. Let's just fix this and I'll just be a different person.
But also like really working through it, because I used to
Yeah.
be like, no, I'm good, and just keep it.
But
again, and then
you're
don't
not.
even ask any questions. I'm
Right.
like, all right, then we're on to the next thing, and then nope, I'm fine.
Yeah, but then
Just
as soon as somebody brings it up, you're like,
forget you. Like what? I just asked. I hate you. Okay.
just like my father!
Right. Or not even knowing you have any friggin' emotion. Like
What's happening?
Why am I
What
angry all of a sudden?
What?
Why am I about to punch him?
Yeah.
Oh, you said something like your stepdad. You're like, you're not my dad.
Yeah.
I was never the one. Again, I wasn't gonna cause any.
Okay.
But I remember my mom being like, oh, that's your stepdad, or I don't know, she didn't necessarily call him dad, but like he had like a Father's Day card or something. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, but he's not my real dad.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing. But you're not my dad.
But you're not my
So what do you want me to put on the card? Do you want
I
me
mean,
to put,
okay,
like,
here's your card.
Happy Father's Day to somebody that's not my father?
I'm be like, okay, you know, but in my head, I'm like, okay, it's not my dad. My dad's, but again, never really had the anger. I'm just like,
Yeah.
my dad's here.
See, and I was,
He's up in here somewhere.
and I was angry. Like,
Yeah.
I will say that over and over and over. I was angry. I was 13. I was going through, I didn't get it. I didn't understand. Like I said, now I look back and go, oh my God, thank goodness they're not together.
Yeah.
But, and my life would be totally different. I wouldn't be the person I am if they stayed together because it
Yeah.
would have been, I can't even wrap my head around that.
But again, I'm like a robot sometimes with my emotions, so I'm just like, all right,
I mean,
that's what you do. Okay, on to the next. Okay. How do you feel about this? Yeah. Whatever.
yeah. Nah.
Alright, you're crying? Okay.
Are you crying?
Are you okay?
Stop it. You good? Are you
You need a minute?
Are you done?
Right.
Do you need a minute?
But I remember one time my mom's like, why are you crying? And that stuck with me forever.
See?
And I'm like, don't cry.
Mm-hmm. See, and we're criers. Like everybody.
What you crying for? And I'm like,
Everyone-
I will never cry again.
It's
Thank
like
you.
sad. I just want to cry.
I will never cry again. That's fine. Trauma.
Word of the day.
Trauma. Okay.
Now I can put Marilyn back up and we
Yeah,
can
she
all-
has a poster here, everyone. So it's not a bare wall.
Yeah. Like I said, my mama helped me decorate, so
Right. Shout out to
Shelly.
Shelly. I was gonna say
Oh, Shelly.
Shelly. And shout out to our parents.
Right.
I know you're doing the best you can.
Human, man.
Human.
We're all human.
Is what it is. Now don't mess up again.
Stop being toxic.
Change your ways. That's the girl.
Do it better.
Switch it up.
You have great children to get this right for.
I was trying to say, flip it and reverse it. What did they say?
Dang, now flip it and reverse it.
Good
Girl,
job.
listen.
What?
I said this trauma that you caused me in my life.
Pause, rewind, and return. Oh, my cheeks.
What are we gonna do? Yeah.
Alright, so that was it. The end of the second episode of the Yellow Butterfly podcast. Again, here with the old Tommy. And yeah, we answered all the questions.
So are you done?
Perfect.
Are you done? Or are you finished?
I don't know.
Are you done? One more thing.
So, my mom did that. Alright, we get it, your parents. We were just talking about, you gotta let it go.
Yeah, just let it go. Just let it go.
Let it go. Live your life.
So one more thing that my mom did that I didn't like when I was growing up.
Stop.
Stop talking.
Okay, yes, I gotta do the outro.
Oh, okay. So,
My cheeks hurt. Yeah. My cheeks hurt. Shoot.
all my cheeks. I have 4.
Woo! It's late.
It's like 8.
It's past my
Oh, I knew I was gonna cry, but
I
I
need to go night. But that one time my mom broke down. Okay. This has been another great episode of the Yellow Butterfly Podcast with Tawny. And until next time, who knows what we're going to be talking about. But, we might see Tawny back here again.
Maybe not back here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe another.
Somewhere else.
All these noises.
Could go
I need you to see.
Fix your light. Could you get a new apartment so we can do this? Your apartment is beautiful. I promise that my apartment is just acting out right now.
Shelly, we need some new things here. Like, this isn't working for me.
When are you coming down? We need to get
It's a chandelier.
So I can make some more noise. My apartment usually doesn't make these noises.
The way my apartment's set up.
The kids up top usually are just. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right.
Settle down there. That's been enough.
Can we cut?
Let's try. I want to go home.
Get out.
I've been here too long. That's curfew.
Safer at home?
6 feet.
Coronavirus. Oh yeah, we're torn. Coronavirus. Getting serious. I'm sweating. It's hot.
It's valid question.
She's getting that turkey. I'm gonna get a ticket. I'm gonna get a ticket on the way home.
You're paying for it.
$100. Misdemeanor, 90 days in jail.
Oh my god. I'll use my work pass. My Amex card. I was gonna say,
You're up.
my vision goggles.
Do you need some water? There's some right here. Oh my gosh. I wish there was more questions. This is fun. She's like, no, I'm gonna go home.
I'm dying. Been a whole night.
Oh my god. Now can we? Okay.
Mommy, let me leave.
So leave. Go. It's my own house. Okay? And there's a noise.
You're in my house. Okay, get it correct. I pay this rent. Okay. Not by myself.
I was like, fair.
I mean, I got no food to eat, but it's fine.
2 days. So I was supposed to pay my rent 2 days ago. So I should probably
Getting evicted tomorrow.
I'll be out of here by the 5th.
But this is my house.
Cinco de Mayo. Be real nice. I have extra money because I don't have rent to pay. Adios, amigo. I can't with you. Adios.
Okay.
Okay,
You're just doing too much.
Not yet.
Okay. Hey, bridesmaids.
Oh. And we're hueves and los echelas and el baño.
Oh my gosh. Okay, outro. Bye.
Yeah.
Until next time, America. Okay.